Hey guys, what's up? We're back with some more reactions after dark, and we are, of course, going to be watching 5-year-old child found dead in ceiling of Chinese restaurant run by parents, of course, by Rotten Mango. So taking a break from the, what was it? A break from the Burning Sun storyline. So we still have part 3 to do, but part 3 is 2 hours long because actually in the next suggested on the timeline here, so I can actually just see it is almost 2 hours, and we don't really have the time for that. I mean, we could, but I feel like I'm just not ready to do something that's 2 hours long right now. So we're going to be doing this. This is actually new, so don't know if anyone's already seen this or not. It's from a few days ago, I think. Yeah, 4 days ago. Of course, yesterday we didn't do a Rotten Mango video for the first time in like a couple weeks. We did just the Dark Asia with Megan video, which was a kind of like a pseudo Beauty and the Beasts video, really, because she has two channels, Beauty and the Beast, or at least two, maybe even more than that. But Beauty and the Beast and Dark Asia with Megan, but she also posts Beauty and the Beast stuff on the Dark Asia with Megan channel as well. I posted that today, because of course this video will go up tomorrow. Posted that today slash yesterday. Uh, So I assume most people aren't going to be as interested in that as the Rotten Mango stuff. Though the Burning Sun Part 2, surprisingly, this is how I'm taking it, uh, I didn't get any comments, but I didn't get any likes either. Usually the videos are getting likes, and comments not necessarily, but the likes. I'm assuming nobody liked the Burning Sun Part 2 video. So I assume there's no rush to get to part 3 if the mood for that was not there. So hopefully this time around, this is okay. I don't know if I have anything else to say. Yeah, maybe we'll do Burning Sun Part 3 tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe the day after that, because I streamed like over 5 hours a day, so I'm very burnt out today, and I'm probably gonna have to stream just so I don't waste my booster in Eternal Return. So I might stream tomorrow as well, earlier than I did today. So I'm just gonna be like hyper burnt out tomorrow too. So it's up in the air whether or not we do Burning Sun Part 3 tomorrow. But again, it doesn't seem like anyone was even interested in Part 2, since someone commented on it and liked it or anything. Because it's already been over a day since that went out, and it still has no comments or likes. So I'm assuming nobody cares. So we can hold off on Part 3 for now.
Bada bing, bada boo.
There are only so many places you can hide inside of a restaurant. But the problem is, almost every single spot is relatively easy to search. The bathroom requires someone sticking their head under the stall. You're gonna be caught. They're gonna peer, they're gonna make sure nobody is hiding, and they're going to see you.
Like, apparently, I think. Well, let's see. Uh, the gaps here. Oh, we're still in red. The gaps here. You'd argue the gaps on top. I don't know if places overseas have those. Like, I don't know if this is like a very American thing to be able to like basically see inside these gaps and see underneath these toilets. I don't know. I feel like that this isn't like universal.
You're gonna be caught. They're gonna peer, they're gonna make sure nobody is hiding, and they're going to see you. The stock rooms, the kitchen, same thing. You get one person poking around, hide and seek is over. There's
Double stickers today.
not that many hiding spots, which leaves just that one door, the steel door. It's like the size of a small closet. Sometimes it's like a small room. And if you step inside and you close that door behind you, you might as well have taken a portal to a different world, because once that door clicks shut, the gasping, the shivering, the numbness, you can't feel your ears, you can't feel your fingers. You're trying to bang on the door to be let out, but you're more clumsy. It's normal, because this is exactly what happens when you are trapped inside of a giant freezer.
Yeah. I was assuming you're talking about being stuck in the freezer, but I guess you didn't actually say you're in a freezer yet until right now. I just paused real quick just to make sure I don't have
The
this
idea of
sped up.
working with a freezer big enough for you to walk into and then being trapped inside of one
It's normal speed, by the way. Don't worry, it's normal speed.
has seemingly become one of the top 15 slightly irrational fears of the everyday person. I have yet to step foot inside of a commercial walk-in freezer, but I do have random, perhaps intrusive thoughts about being trapped in one. So much so that there are Ask Reddit threads asking people, in the hypothetical world,
Yeah, I don't think it's anything I've ever thought about. Like, I thought about being trapped in one and being afraid of it. I haven't thought about that. Since it probably has been shown in like shows or like movies or something. I think I might have seen some sort of show or movie that had that concept in it, but it's never been anything I thought about outside of that or even feared about. I'm pretty sure those things are supposed to have something on the inside to let you out in case of emergencies like that. I'm pretty sure. So I don't think it's as easy to get trapped in there as you would think. Maybe not. Maybe if they have an old one that was made like a million years ago, then maybe it doesn't have a safety feature like that. But I don't know if it needs to be as irrational as possible. I think it's actually not as bad as people might think, but that's just speculation. I don't actually know that. You take that with a grain of salt.
if you were to be trapped inside of a commercial walk-in freezer for the night, let's say at a restaurant, what do you do to survive? Nobody's coming until the morning. The answers really don't do anything to make you less paranoid.
I just remembered a movie that has a freezer scene, I think. And I'm not going to say what movie it is because it's not something that I'm going to talk about. But I did remember one. Another one. Did The Invisible Man from the early 2000s, did that have a freezer scene? I don't remember. That one I'll talk about because that's just is that R-rated? That's just an R-rated horror movie. So it's almost topical because it's horror. Uh, did The Invisible Man have a freezer scene? If for some reason it just vaguely feels like there was a freezer scene, but maybe it was just like a science room. But I swear, like I'm remembering like some sort of locked door. I don't know, in that movie.
I would take the cold boxes of food. Really
That's
don't do
respect.
anything to make you less paranoid. I would take the cold boxes of food and create an ice shelter type of structure. So you want to prevent the blowing air from
They make an igloo. That makes sense. I mean, if you're out in the cold, where those like, is it Antarctica or what? Like they make igloos. Igloos are made out of ice, but that somehow keeps you warm, even though it's made out of ice.
cooling you down to the point of hypothermia. That's how you're gonna circulate your inner warmth. Another professional Reddit survivalist writes, many restaurants have large plastic bags in or on those wire racks. If that's the case, take 2 bags, wrap yourselves in them, utilize your body temperature by breathing inside the bag, but not enough to suffocate yourself. Come out for air every now and then. You'll last 8 hours.
Why does she have to make them sound like that? Throwing shade at this guy.
One person comments, I worked at a fish and chip shop once. Got loads of pies and food and, stuff back there. I would just stuff them into my clothes. I would put them in my pants. I'd put them in my shirt. Yeah, they're frozen pies. It's going to feel freezing for the first 10, 20 minutes. And then after that, it'll actually somewhat insulate you. That's how it works.
That is crazy how creative people are.
Yeah. I mean, probably the best advice, the most simple advice comes from one professional that works with industrial freezers. He says, best thing to do if you're trapped, find something to stick into the fan blade so they stop turning.
Sure, that's as logical as it gets, I guess.
Going to overheat the compressor outside, the cooler's going to stop cooling, the temperature alarm's going to sound, and then you'll get out. Obviously, this is after you check to see if the emergency exit method is not already working, which surprisingly a lot of people report in the restaurants that they work at. It never functions well. Naturally.
Okay, so there is a thing with this, and what I was talking about earlier, should be a way to get out of there. Apparently they just don't work. Why are they making them like so broken?
It is one of the very first places the police officers check for the little missing girl. What if she accidentally walked into the freezer and somehow got locked inside?
Yeah, I mean, probably wouldn't be able to get out just because of the button or latch or whatever the heck it is that opens the door from the inside is too high for her to get to.
They start going through the bins, the grocery bags filled with raw meat inside of the freezer. She is not here. They check and they double check, and when they're done, they walk out of that commercial freezer. I mean, it's clear she's not in the freezer. But that is the thing. Even police have their blind spots. When looking for 5-year-old Ashley, they look everywhere. They look on the shelves, they look under the chair, they look in the bags, they look inside that commercial walk-in freezer. But while they're in the freezer, did they ever think to look up? This is the case of Ashley Zhao, the 5-year-old girl that was found in the walls of a Chinese restaurant.
Of course, just meeting that, as usual. The act of just look up is something I think a lot of people just naturally forget to do when looking for anything, right? Because what's up other than the ceiling, but there might be something up there, right? So don't forget to look up.
Thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support Baby to Baby. They are a nonprofit that provides essential items to more than 1 million children across the country. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and would also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. Now, first, a disclaimer for today's case. There are mentions of CA resulting in death, so please take time if that's too much, and I'll see you in the next one. And secondly, this case is incredibly multifaceted. Any mentions and details included in this episode should not be taken as fuel for like some sick anti-immigration xenophobic narrative
How would we even get there?
or just hatred against Chinese people or China. At the same time, one's immigration status and culture should not be used as a reasoning or as an excuse for their crimes, especially when as serious as murder. So these are just the facts of the case. And additionally, most of you guys are, sometimes I feel like you guys are a little too smart for your own good sometimes, but so this doesn't apply to you, but the very small percentage of people without working frontal lobes, please exercise a bit of common sense and nuance. Don't use this video as justification for avoiding small businesses or Chinese restaurants and avoiding mom and pop shops. And allegedly finding an acrylic nail, allegedly in a crumble cookie, that's a valid reason to question the hygienics of a restaurant. Seeing that a restaurant is owned by a particular ethnicity or serves a particular cuisine is not a valid reason to question the hygienics, which is a thing I'm seeing all over Reddit.
No clue what she's talking about, because again, I don't use Reddit, so I haven't heard any of this.
Lastly, any comments, opinions, criticisms are from netizens that we found online during our research and not a reflection of our personal thoughts on this case. So with that being said, let's get started. The top 4 most dangerous jobs in the United States, can you guess them?
Probably like a lumberjack or something.
Yeah, logging
Lumberjack.
workers.
Logging worker.
So
Okay, I don't know if that would have come to mind since he kind of just answered and I just didn't even think to like try to make up a answer. So we have top 4 most, what was it?
can you guess them? Being said, let's get started. The top 4 most dangerous jobs in the United States.
Top 4 most dangerous jobs. Are any of the jobs from that Discovery Channel show, like Dirty Jobs, going to be on that list? So we have lumbering is already on there. I don't know if I could think of anything. So you would assume like firefighting and maybe police, but maybe not police. So we have lumbering. Again, this will be chicken scratch. Also, I felt some lag there. That's also not helping. The computer just struggles using all these programs at once. We got lumbering. I'm gonna go with firefighting. Oh yeah, there's some massive lag on this. I mean, if you don't know what I mean, like what I'm trying to write, it's delayed, so it's hard to like steer what's happening. So fighting. Yes, see how late that was? Yeah, so we're gonna have like a massive chicken scratch today. So firefighting, lumbering, I don't think sewer work would be it. I mean, you could argue the military, because military specifically for war, people go into war. I don't know if that's going to be, but maybe we're just talking about like just standard jobs. Electrician, maybe like the people who change the or do the electric poles. I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and like write all that down because I can't think of anything else. But lumbering, firefighting, what have you. Where did they get the top
States.
four
Can
gonna
you
be?
guess them?
Probably like a lumberjack or something.
Yeah, logging workers.
Logging worker.
So logging workers is the most dangerous. Then pilots and flight engineers, oil, gas,
Sure.
and mining.
Sure.
And then number 4 are roofers.
Mm.
And there's 2 roofers standing up on the roof on top of this pet store. It's 15 feet tall, so it's not like the most dangerous
Pet store.
roof that they've been on, but they're being cautious. They get up there 10 a.m. They're trying to beat the afternoon sun.
I would have like thought construction. I mean, roofers are construction, but like just construction in general.
One of the guys, he gets close to the edge of the roof. He's just staring into the parking lot. He's like zoning out while he's waiting for his partner to get done with his part. And he sees this SUV pull up. And he says, nothing was out of the ordinary. I wasn't expecting anything, so it just seemed like a normal day. He watches the man get out of the driver's seat. A woman gets out the passenger seat. They don't talk. The 2 of them go to open the back door where they pull out a young little girl, maybe 5, 6 years old. They take her out of the car seat, cover her face with her purple winter coat because it's freezing outside, and they walk away from their car. It's a pretty anticlimactic experience. I mean, he almost forgot the entire thing until the police start questioning him. Because by the time that he saw the 3 of them, the man, the woman, and the little girl, one of them was already dead.
What?
A man calls 911. He sounds like he's trying to keep his composure. It's working. He sounds relatively calm. Hey, what's going on? That's literally what the 911 operator says.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't find my daughter.
Huh? Why did they... Hey, what's going on? That's so casual for a... like 911 line. Is that normal? I've never called 911? Question mark. I don't think I have. I haven't had a reason to. So, why so casual?
Hey, how old is she?
5. She just turned 5.
When's the last time you seen her?
The tone she's taking is weird too. I mean, this is not anything wrong with the operator. It's just weird, like that first question, her tone of voice here.
This afternoon, probably.
Around what time?
3, maybe 4.
So you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
So he's calling around 9 p.m. and saying he hasn't seen his daughter since 5 p.m. This is a 5-year-old little girl. So it's not even like I haven't seen my 13-year-old daughter who went to her friend's house.
What was she wearing?
She's wearing a purple winter coat. I don't know what those things are called, but they're not jeans. They're like,
Like leggings?
yeah.
What color?
So again, I was saying she's speaking very casually, but I mean, maybe that's just to be calm. He, on the other hand, is speaking way too casually for someone whose daughter is gone. Actually, I'm assuming that's the whole thing. It's just that it was this guy who did it, so that's probably why. But maybe not. But yeah, way too casual to be talking about your daughter missing. Way too calm.
What color were they?
Grayish.
Okay, and you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
About, yeah. I mean, she was there sleeping. I mean,
Where was she sleeping at? In the restaurant?
The man is explaining that he and his wife own this restaurant, which they have this little mattress in the back, a tiny little mattress, where sometimes one of their 2 daughters, so they have a 6-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old daughter, and the 5-year-old is missing, and sometimes they just sleep in the back while their parents are working, and now she's gone. I mean, she was sleeping there. I picked up my older daughter from school. We all saw her sleeping there, and we went to work, and we let her sleep, and we got busy, and then after I got busy, we started cleaning up, and then we opened the door, and she's not there.
I just want to point out this is normal speed because I know I've been using increased speed sometimes, but she was just actually speaking that fast this time around.
Do you have any security videos or anything in there? No. We don't have any security cameras in the restaurant. We've been here for 6 years, never had security cameras.
Also, she's overselling it here actually, because we just heard. If assuming that was the real audio, we heard that man's voice. He is not stressed. He is not panicking at all. He is as calm as can be. So she's adding um, fear and stress to this man when that is not happening, and what that did not actually happen. Unless maybe he gets to that point, but maybe he actually just start panicking. But
But we all saw her, all of us. Like my wife, myself, my older daughter. When we came back, when I picked up my older daughter from school, we all saw her sleeping there.
yeah, this panic was not anywhere in his voice.
Okay, were there any suspicious people that came into the restaurant at all? Do you think that she could have walked out? Could she have run away? I have no idea. I mean, she was sleeping in the back. It's kind of hard to say. None of your employees had seen her? There's only 2 of us in the restaurant, just myself and my wife. There's nobody else in the restaurant. There's only 3 people in the restaurant right now. Okay, when you guys left, who was there with you? Who was there with your daughter when you guys left to go get your other kid from school? My wife. I got my other kid from school. So I picked up my eldest kid from school. My wife was at the restaurant with the youngest kid. But when we came back, she's here. The little girl is here. My wife is here. The restaurant is open. The restaurant's always open. I usually open up. I drop my daughter off at school in the morning, and then we come here to open up the restaurant, and then I go pick her up. Okay, right now, though, when you left, you said your wife and your daughter left to go pick up your daughter from school? No, I didn't say that. I said that my wife is here all the time.
Did you hear the whole thing?
Yes.
Was he contradicting himself, or
I would say that I think she was having a hard time understanding. I don't think that he was blatantly contradicting or anything was particularly alarming about the 911 call.
I mean, yes, there was definitely. If assuming that was the real call, he had no sense of fear or panic or anxiety or what have you that you would have after losing your child. And also the kind of like casual, it's just another Tuesday voice from the operator, but that's neither here nor there. It's just his voice that was like the big problem.
I think the only thing that I would take away from the call that was like a little is that he seems a little calm.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. She added too much emphasis to him. He did not care.
However, that could be seen as a positive trait of a father trying to get a goal done, a mission done.
When I'm sorry, when I meant was myself, okay? When I went to pick up my daughter, when we came back, myself and my daughter, not my wife. My wife was here the whole time. When we came back.
So your wife hasn't seen her since around the 4 or 5 o'clock either?
Yes.
He explains they saw her around 4 or 5. Everyone. The 6-year-old saw her, the wife saw her, the husband saw her, everybody saw her sleeping, and then the dinner rush came. They were fixing up the dinner rush. Afterwards, they went to check on her and she's gone, and it's been 5 hours. Maybe she managed to walk out the back door. And if that's the case, she maybe has a few more hours left. Because if she's been out there for at least a few hours, and it's 6 degrees outside, she doesn't have a lot of time.
6 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yes. If the walk-in freezer is the worst case scenario, at least on first glance, this is the second worst case scenario. Ashley, 5-year-old Ashley, being lost outside in the cold. A lot of health inspectors do not like to eat out at restaurants. It's just not a fun time for them. You want to eat dinner with a health inspector, you're probably going to go to their house. It's understandable. Maybe it's safer to cook at home when a ton of restaurants they're inspecting are clearly doing what they call fire drills. You think the health inspector doesn't know what's going on? They know. Manager, owner, eyes get huge. They start ordering employees to do all sorts of tasks. You over there, you over there. They're like managing a drill to cover up all sorts of potential violations, which usually results in creating more violations on the spot. Or some of them try the distraction method, divide and conquer. They send people to bombard the inspector to get all their attention so they can't actually focus on the restaurant, and the inspector is thinking, that's not working.
Sometimes I heard they will have like they will form a clique with all the restaurants nearby.
Yes.
So usually when it comes to one of them, they will alarm the other.
Yes. Like there are so many ways around it. I think the health inspectors are the citizens' #1 friend and the restaurant's #1 enemy sometimes. And one of them just goes by this rule. One health inspector, he said, go to the bathroom. Before you order, go to the bathroom. Usually in most restaurants, the bathroom and the kitchen are in very similar conditions. One health
Okay, I mean, sure. Probably understandable.
Health inspector writes online. At one busy restaurant, there was a bucket under the prep bench. And I thought, what's that bucket? I walked up to it. The chefs were peeing inside the bucket instead of going to the bathroom. Another says, I do remember a steak being returned once. Flipped it over. There was a crispy fried cockroach cooked into one side of it.
Oof. Yeah, the bucket thing, that's just crazy too, but like bugs.
One
Oof.
netizen writes online, my mom was inspecting a donut shop in California and saw someone changing a diaper on the dough prep table. Their excuse was, what? We're not open yet.
Like that matters?
People say, I've seen soup being prepared in 5-gallon Home Depot buckets on the floor. I've seen soup being prepared without utensils, just using a bare arm to stir the soup. Someone said, I discovered, as a health inspector, one of the local restaurants had been washing dishes in the lake behind the restaurant.
How close were they to the lake? Like a few feet? Like how far you gotta go to wash the dishes? Or you like literally just an inch away from the lake? So yeah, let's just like dump them in the lake and then they're good to go.
Another said, I'm not a health inspector, but I worked at a major fast food chain. I had a coworker that would lick her index finger every time she peeled a slice of cheese from the stack of cheese to make cheeseburgers. It was as if she was trying to separate a sheet of paper from a stack of papers. I would watch her do this all day long. I never said anything to the health department, but I sure as hell never ate the cheeseburgers. Another person writes, I worked at another major national food chain, fast food chain. When the health inspector came, the cooks took all the expired food out of the fridge, stored it in their cars by the dumpster until after the health inspector left, and then we put it all back. One health inspector said, we kept getting reports of a vanilla ice cream machine with black specks in it. Worried it would be grinding metal, like a little lock metal. That could be a health hazard.
I'm guessing it's insect feces or other animal feces.
The barrel for the
Could be mold.
ice cream machine was infested with cockroaches.
Yep. That's what I thought. Insect feces.
Just being ground up and expelled as additional protein.
Or I guess the roaches themselves.
One person writes, you think that's bad? I saw a floor painted with non-slip paint. And they literally painted over a dead rat and sealed it there. Considering how bad health inspections can go, Ong's Chinese cuisine in Ohio is actually not that bad. Ong's is a Chinese carry-out restaurant, so you don't really go there to sit and dine in. You go there, you order food, you get your dank Chinese food, and then you leave. You
Dank? Why did you have to say dank?
pick up, you do to-go orders. You have some tables lined up with some menus and like the soy sauce containers with the
Yeah, they got salt. I guess pepper, but it looks like just salt. Possibly pepper, soy sauce, Pepsi. Pepsi's out on the floor. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine.
chili oil containers. But most of the time, you see a row of people standing on their phones waiting for their takeout. Most of Ong's Chinese cuisine violations include chicken thawing on a rack at room temp. Food should be thawed under a refrigerator or running water. Chicken that has been cooked is cooling at room temp. Food should be cooled by placing in shallow pans and placed in the walk-in cooler. And then lastly, chicken has been repackaged into disposable grocery bags. Food that is repackaged must be repackaged into food-grade packaging.
These are comments from the inspectors?
Yes. Now, regardless, once these problems are fixed, they pass all their health inspections. There's really nothing notable in any of their health inspections, except one that is taken by Inspector Christina, but none of the customers really care for it. January 4th, 2017, she says,
2014?
the customers really care for it. January 4th, 2017, she
Oh, 2017. My bad. Yeah, 2017. So kind of a long time ago, but then kind of not. It's like less than a decade ago.
says, while conducting my inspection, I noticed a little girl hunched down in a small toddler chair in the dry storage room. It caught me off guard because of her presence and demeanor. I only thought the owner and his wife were there. I asked the little girl how old she was, and I got no answer. And I stared at her and I said, Are you 3?
I'm guessing she doesn't speak English.
She responded back, 5.
Okay,
The
no,
girl
she does.
remained in the same spot during the whole time. I was inside the facility approximately 90 minutes. I asked the male owner if she went to preschool or kindergarten, and he reported she went to kindergarten, but I don't know. There was a blue table in the facility by the hallway of the kitchen, had coloring books, crayons, a baby doll, another toy. It was just so strange, though. I don't know, it was so odd. The little girl was so quiet, and she would only stare at the floor. I thought she was in trouble for something, but I'm not sure. I just thought it was so strange the entire time I was there. I didn't even know she was there, too. It was like she's like a little ghost.
Is this an interview? Or is it...
This is a written formal statement, an interview with the officer.
I see.
A few weeks later, that little girl, 5-year-old Ashley, goes missing. Ong's Chinese cuisine restaurant technically has 4 employees. You've got Liang Dao, so Liang, the dad. You got Ming Ming, the mom.
Are we going to say the 2 kids are employees too? I mean, obviously not, but that would be funny.
Jojo is the 6-year-old daughter. This is a nickname. This is not her real name, but they refer to her as Jojo, but it's not her government name. And then Ashley is the 5-year-old daughter. So there are the 4 employees of the restaurant. Nobody else works there. It's just the 4 of them and a 300-item menu. And
Wait, what? That wasn't a joke. It was the 2 kids are the people who work there?
every single person that walks into the restaurant to order, the approximately 5 to 8 minutes that they wait for their food, they will all have very different feelings about this family. A former delivery driver does mention that Ming Ming and Liang seemed like good people. However, I always thought Liang wanted a son. He would say, I want a son, but he didn't have one, and I think it bothered him. Do with that what you will. Others think it's just a little bit much to run the entire restaurant with the 2 of them. I mean, they do the cooking, they do the front of the house, everything. I imagine the hours are pretty insane. One fellow parent at the local elementary school says, my daughter was friends with their oldest daughter, Jojo. If they wanted play dates, I would have to bring my daughter to the restaurant. But the family unit as a whole is pretty wholesome. I don't think I ever caught them at a bad moment. This is a direct quote from neighbors. Like, these are direct quotes from people that knew the family. They were always very polite, a little reserved. The family seems very private, but the 2 girls, by all accounts, seem like daddy's girls.
Okay. But again, I feel like he's the one who caused this death, question mark. So how did that happen? I mean, we're going to find out how that happened, but of course, everything just seems like it's fine on the outside. That's just standard situations. Like that's just what you hear from eyewitnesses, right? Everything seemed fine. They seemed like a perfectly fine family. I would have never guessed something like this would have happened. I feel like that's the common sentiment a lot of the times, right?
But now, Ashley is gone, and the only lead the police have is maybe she went outside. The doors to the back lead to the back parking lot
2
of the
freezers.
plaza. Once you pass that, it's pretty dense wooded area. Parking lot of the
Take a look at this. We got the double freezers, of course. Where is the front of this place? Is this just the kitchen area? Double freezers, because we have bags and boxes at the top right. Don't know what all this dead space here is. Is this nothing here? Yeah, this might just be nothing, and this arrow is saying this is what the inside of the freezer looks like. So where is the front of this place? Here, maybe? I don't know.
the plaza. Once you pass that, it's pretty dense wooded area. It's like one of those suburban areas in Ohio where you drive and it's tree, plaza, tree, plaza. Those are the trees. She's 5. I mean, she could have been anywhere. She could have been taken. We don't know. I mean, has anybody been acting strange recently? Liang, the dad, says, there were 2 guys that came into the restaurant on 2 separate occasions, a few months apart, but twice. I remember because they were asking some weird questions.
Okay, so we're creating a scapegoat here, a straw man to throw the scent off of himself.
We thought like they were trying to see which restaurant to target for a robbery. They were asking like, when are your busiest times? How long do you stay busy? What time do you close? But I didn't think anything of it after the second time because it just seemed kind of dumb that they would also ask all of that. And probably they realized that there's not much to rob here, so they moved on. But maybe Liang is wrong. Maybe they didn't come for the robbery. Maybe they were looking for something else. Because behind the restaurant in the woods, the police find their very first piece of evidence, and it's not looking good. A pair of black shoes, too big to be Ashley's. Adult shoes, like men's sneakers. Over 100 officers are searching the dense woods behind the restaurants all night. Civilians are coming out in giant puffer jackets and winter coats to help search. One woman in the car is being interviewed as she's going to search. I just pray that if somebody took her, that they would have the heart to bring her home because I'm sure these parents are in such distress.
She was the sweetest little thing. I just loved her so much. Every time I would go in to pick up food from them, she was always behind the counter and she would talk to me.
So that night, there is a gathering in the plaza of the restaurant with all the locals.
So we found some shoes out back, but what does that mean? Why would someone take their shoes off or leave them behind after kidnapping a child? That just seems like bait, right? Again, maybe he bought these shoes, like new, or maybe like not new, some old shoes that he just had, but then that's kind of like pointing the evidence into you. Maybe he just somehow got some shoes. Is there a shoe place around here? I see that there's a, I think that's what that is. There's a Walgreens right here. You could buy shoes from Walgreens, I'm pretty sure. Granted, I don't actually know that. It's been so long since I've been to a Walgreens, but pretty sure you could get some shoes from there. Yeah, just go over there, have some gloves on, go get some shoes, throw them out back. Don't know. Oh, you couldn't even see that. I was in the way. Yeah, over here. Oh, what the? That almost was bad. Over here, this building here is Walgreens. Well, let me just get out of the way. Where am I? This is me. Yeah, Walgreens. Right there. But I thought that's what's happened here in this situation. Which one do I use? That one. There we go.
People are praying. They're comforting each other. They're praying that Ashley makes it back home. And there's at least one person there praying that Ashley will never be found.
What? You mean the dad?
Do you know how to tell when someone is lying?
I don't know.
I mean, there's so many videos
Depends.
on YouTube of FBI
I mean, it depends.
profilers telling you how to spot a liar. There's probably more than 4 videos on this topic at the very least.
Because it depends on the
But
person.
the only way to really tell if someone is lying is to establish a baseline. Figure their unique nonverbal communication habits first, and then see if they change when they're being deceptive. But if you don't have the time for that, look for micro expressions.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than stuff like that, do they, when they say something, do they look to the right or do they look to the left? I guess stuff like that. I don't know. Do they look down? I guess even. Like, does their gaze go in any direction when you're speaking to them about things, I guess? Are they fidgeting or doing anything like that? Are they stuttering, etc., etc.? I don't
That's
know.
what they say. Tell someone good news about your life and watch for a brief flash of a smirk or a grimace before they smile and congratulate you. And if you catch it, even for like a split second, just know that maybe they're not the most happy for you. Or sometimes it's below the table signs, which actually works. There was a K-drama clip that went viral recently, but there's a reason that it went viral because humans have a very distinct way of communicating. The clip is of a guy and a girl meeting up at a coffee shop. The girl
Okay, so what is he gonna do? He's gonna fidget his hands, he's gonna tap his shoes.
starts crying. The guy gets up to get her tissues, feeling bad for her, but as he's walking back to the table, her back is turned to him. She's still sitting at the table crying. He stops because just from looking at her back, he can tell her body language and she's lying.
Okay, how?
She's not actually crying. Can you guess what that body language is?
She's sitting at a table crying. Is she hunched forward? Or I don't know if I could even tell. Are her legs crossed? Is her back straight? I guess you're crying, you'd be crying into your hands and then hunched over. I don't know. Just cross legs, not cross legs, back straight, back not straight. I honestly don't know.
Like chest up? Like shoulder straight? Or
No, she's hunched over crying.
was she's
Okay, she is hunched over. Hunched over crying. I don't know. Is it just again like the crossed legs? Is she's like tapping her feet, like just casually swaying her legs back and forth, or anything like that?
shaking her leg. No. Yes?
Her foot is moving up and down. She's rocking one foot. Her legs are crossed.
Okay, cross legs. Yep, that's what I thought. Cross legs, shaking them back and forth.
And she's rocking one foot,
Yeah.
which typically doesn't happen when you're
Yeah.
crying and distraught.
Like you're not really gonna be paying attention to that, right? You're gonna be focused on the crying, not casually moving your legs like that.
It's very inconsistent. So clearly, when adults lie, there are inconsistencies. But is it possible for a kid to lie? I mean, one could argue it's nearly impossible for kids to lie. I actually hate that thing where it's like all kids lie. I get it. Kids go through a phase where they test boundaries and they learn how to communicate. But I think it's nearly impossible for kids to lie because most of the time adults will be able to spot it. They're not the most advanced at hiding their deception. One of the detectives on site, searching for Ashley, spots her older sister, Jojo, sitting off to the side. He decides, with consent, to ask Jojo again exactly what is it that she saw in that restaurant. Jojo glances around. She makes sure that nobody's eavesdropping, and she whispers, "Mommy and Daddy said I can't say what happened."
Okay, well you're already under the bus. They know something's up.
What?
What? I don't really know. I'm not sure. Mommy and Daddy said I can't say what happened.
I mean, that's already more than enough.
Suddenly, the detective is staring at Ming Ming and Liang from across the restaurant, and it's not adding up. Liang is fidgeting with his hands, talking to other officers, but he almost looks nervous more than anything, which fine.
That guy fidgeting.
Maybe he is nervous. He's nervous to find his daughter. But Ming Ming, her reaction right now this entire time has been cold. The officer walks up to Liang, the dad. "Do you have a recent photo of Ashley?" "I do not." "You don't have
This is 2017, you don't have a picture of your daughter on your phone?
social media? You don't post them? Do you have a physical album somewhere?"
Got a Polaroid camera? I mean, it's a bit late for that, but no Polaroids, anything?
"No, the only picture I have of her is her passport photo." Huh. Some people swear by the idea that the only way to lie on a polygraph test and not get caught is to clench your butt cheeks or put a thumbtack in your shoe, and every
Yeah, just like inflict pain on yourself.
time that you answer a question truthfully, you step your toe onto the thumbtack. And you clench your butt muscles and you release them slowly to throw off the questions reading. Others say, no, you just have to lie. Like you have to think when they ask you normal questions. So they do a baseline first. Control questions is what they call them. They ask you for your government name, your birthday, who the president is. This is your baseline. This is when you're normal, when you're not stressed out. This is how you're going to be. They said, when they ask those questions, start biting the inside of your mouth. Throw off the baseline. Because that's what they're going to compare the lies to. Other netizens say, listen, I've lied on many polygraphs. It's just 90% breath control. Just sit in the chair and keep a steady breath. Every once in a while during a control question, interrupt your normal breathing rhythm and breathe faster. and then go back to normal. Be very calm. They will ask you the same questions over and over. You will be bored. You will be frustrated. This is a game of patience. With some even saying that the best way to beat a polygraph is during the control questions where they ask you for your name, start counting backwards from 100 by intervals of 7. So like 93, and then from there and there. Because that makes I guess it does something physiologically to you. Or
That's weird. Never heard that before.
emotionally charged memories during childhood to trigger physiological responses that are going to throw people off. It's actually pretty terrifying how a lot of polygraph administrators cannot tell when someone is using a deceptive technique. It's really hard to detect, but that means it could go the other way too. You can completely tell the truth and it will look like you're lying. Liang, the dad, is the first to go.
Okay, he's moving his head kind of weirdly.
He's welcomed
He's looking down, looking around, looking even
into
further
the
down.
interrogation room. He's wearing a black hoodie, dressed comfortably. But first, the control answers. Do you have any idea what the reason is for this test? To see if I hurt my daughter? Did you hurt Ashley? Answer truthfully by saying the word yes or no.
Oh, he's going through a lie detector
Yes.
test?
No. If I were to ask you right now, you physically have anything to do with Ashley's disappearance, what would the truthful answer be? No. Have you ever had any psychological counseling? Yes. When
Okay.
was the last time? About a month ago? What was going on? What were you having a hard time with? My wife's immigration case. Oh yeah, what is going on with that? Is she going to be deported or something? So Ming is trying to get asylum in the United States, but it's not working. I don't know. Maybe. But you're an American citizen. Yes.
Aren't they married? Doesn't that mean she doesn't need to? I don't know how that stuff works.
Your wife can eventually become a US citizen. My mom did the process as well. It's harder than it looks. So what are you feeling? What were some of the things emotionally that you're feeling? That my wife might get deported. Okay. I don't know what to do with my kids. So you were worried about what might happen, that she can't take them with her? I don't know. Even if she did, I would still have to support them. On Tuesdays, that's the only day the restaurant closes. What do you do on your day off? I pretty much do stuff for the restaurant. So you don't have any hobbies or things you like to do? I like to draw, play some games. He's very calm.
What kind of games are you talking about? Talking about video games or like board games? What kind of games?
What is your greatest ambition in life? Wait, how old are you? 34. Honestly, I told my wife I gave up on the personal stuff. I just want to raise the kids. I just want to make sure that they have a good future. Do you plan to have more children than 2? Yeah, I wanted 4, but it can be tough. What's the single best thing that it's ever happened to your life so far? My kids. What's the single worst thing that's ever happened to your life since the day you were born?
Is he gonna say losing his kid?
Probably this.
Yeah. Or this scenario, yeah.
This is where it starts feeling less like a polygraph and more like a full-blown interrogation. A lot of people would categorize this type of interrogation like being buried alive. So I think it's very interesting when you watch a lot of interrogation tapes, each one has vastly different pacing, but they're all kind of across the board can fit into different categories. And it always depends on probably the interrogator themselves, how much evidence they actually have on the subject, and then the subject themselves. Each personality is going to be different. But this one is such a clear categorization of being buried alive. Just soil collapsing on the subject. The overlying feeling is supposed to be every lie you tell buries you deeper and it becomes suffocating. The interrogator asked Lang, "Why did you agree to take the polygraph today?" I didn't know. I thought I had to, you know? Has Ashley ever run away before? Run away? Run away from home? She went out the back door before. Okay.
That probably was a lie.
I'm just talking about, you know, is she the type to kind of run off and go? No.
By the way, this is kind of topical to me since I sometimes do have things to interject here. How old was I? I think when I was around 5 or so, I ran away a lot. Thankfully, I mean, I'm still here and not kidnapped or dead, but I did run away a lot. And that could have ended in, again, me being kidnapped or dead, because there was a situation where I would have been dead if someone didn't show up. Allegedly, because I don't really remember that too much, but there was a scenario where I was going to be in a life or death situation because I had done that, but someone saves me in time. So, but yeah, I did do a lot of running away at that age because I don't know how I was so smart. Not like to pat myself on the back because it doesn't make any sense. Like I genuinely don't understand how I had so much premeditation at that age, like around 5 or so, because I at that age I knew where my dad hid the keys to the front door, and I knew that once he was asleep, like when he went to go to sleep, I would get into the drawer where he kept the keys, and then unlock the door and go outside. I was like, how? I was like 5. Where was that? Like that doesn't make any sense. How? Like I understood that premeditation, like to think like that. It doesn't make any sense. Again, luckily I'm still here, obviously, but uh, it's just like it's topical to this because I was in the situation of running away at that age. Not necessarily running away, but like leaving out, going outside to go do things. Apparently, I went to go to Kmart, which was down the street at the time. Which, of course, rest in peace, Kmart. Which I don't even remember that one. I remember being in a police station before because of one of these incidences, but that probably was that one. But yeah, apparently I went to the Kmart down the street to go get a toy, and I tried to leave with the toy. I don't remember going to that Kmart, getting the thing, or leaving. I don't remember that part, but yeah, so there's a little story for you.
You say she ran out the back door, ran out of the back room at the apartment? No, at the restaurant. Can you kind of tell me what you did yesterday? Yesterday? Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't slept for a while, so I don't know what yesterday was. Has Ashley ever wandered off before? Yes, she opened the back door and walked out before. Can she unlock the door herself to get out? Yeah, both my daughters can. They both did it. They're not supposed to do it, but they do it. So how many locks are on the back door that they have to open? None. It automatically opens from the inside. Okay, and then you need a key to get back inside if you're outside? Yes. What do you think happened to Ashley? I don't know. So what do you think? If somebody took your child, what do you think should happen to that person? What do you want to see happen to them if you find out through the investigation that someone took your child, she was just wandering around, and they picked her up and took her? I would want her back. What do you think should happen to that person? Go to jail.
I mean, that is a loaded question because they're asking him that so that once they find out that he is the person who did it, they can be like, okay, well, you said that the person who did this should go to jail, which means that you yourself want yourself to go to jail or whatever, right?
What would be the possibility that an accident happened inside the restaurant? The possibility of an accident happening inside to where she got hurt really, really bad. I guess it's possible. I'm asking you because I have to look at every possibility when I'm doing the polygraph, okay? The child walks out the door, and a very unfortunate thing happens. Someone picks her up and takes her, and now they have their own child. Maybe there's an accident. She gets burned with grease or something, and the next thing you know, she's laying lifeless. You're scared. You don't know if police are going to believe you or not, so you just take her body and hide it somewhere. I have to look at that possibility because, unfortunately, those things happen as well. But if you know what happened to your daughter, you need to tell me. Because there's an awful lot of people right now looking for her. A lot of people, more than you can imagine. Highway patrol's got helicopters, airplanes, they've got dogs, they've got all kinds of people looking for her. But if
Yeah, because he's wasting, well, assuming that he knows where she is, in this scenario, he's wasting the time of the people of this city. He's wasting taxpayer dollars, right? Guess you could say that. On top of just your fellow man's time as well, your peers.
if you know we're never going to find her, you need to let us know right now. Because these people are away from their families, and they will be for days and days and days, and that's not fair to them if you know, in fact, where Ashley really is. The other possibility would be that you sold her.
What?
Unfortunately,
We had the exact same reaction to that. But yeah, like, what?
a lot of people do this. They sell their own children. But If you know what happened, you need to tell me. We gotta stop. You're giving me a lot of stuff, and I haven't slept in a really long time right now. I don't think.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if you can just say that. If you can just say, okay, stop, we're not doing this anymore. Can
I
you
want
just
to do this.
Can you just do that?
A lot of other people aren't going to sleep until they find her. We owe it to you. We owe it to everybody. We owe it to Ashley. I'm having trouble keeping my eyes open right now. I've had 5 minutes of rest since yesterday, and I slept, I don't know how much. You ask all these tough questions, and I'm starting to get scared. What are you scared of? Do you know something that you haven't told them? I mean, look, I'll be your spokesperson for you. I know those people. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to tell what you need to tell. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to. And I will go right beside you. I won't make you do it by yourself. But you've got to tell me what's going on. I'm scared if I continue with this test and it shows that I'm lying or I'm trying to fake the test or something, it's going to reflect badly. You're right. It will reflect badly. And we don't want that. No, we don't want that. And I told you I'm having a really hard time concentrating and sitting here. I can't even really keep my eyes open. I just keep blinking. Can you tell us where she is? Can you tell us what happened to her so we can at least go find her? Can you?
Yeah, he's just trying to break him now, I think, at this point. If he actually is tired, he can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until he just gives up.
Can you at least do that for us?
He's just trying to break his will.
I'm just afraid for my wife, that's all. Why? What did she do? Huh? What did your wife do? Did she make a mistake? No, her deportation, you know. I get that, but I don't care about that. It's not about your wife. It's about your daughter. We just want to find your daughter. No, my whole family is going to fall apart. Can I just go home first? I know you know something. I just want to be able to call off all these people if I can. If I can send them home, that's all I want to do. I just need a little more time. That's all.
It's like the tapping of the audio in the background. They try to give it more attention.
Do you have any idea where she is? If we just know where she is, you don't have to tell me the rest of the story. I just want to know where we can find her. I just need a little more time. Do you know where she is? Would you tell me that? Do you know where she is? The longer this goes on, and then they find out all along you could have stopped it and you didn't, gloves are off. There's nobody that's going to deal with you. Nobody's going to feel sorry for anybody, and it's going to get really ugly. And I don't want that to happen. There's no reason for that. I don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen. You don't have to explain to me, but at least let us go get her. That's all we want to do, so that we can send everyone home so they can at least spend their evening with their loved ones. I know, I understand. Okay, I really do. But you know, it's not just my wife, it's my whole family that's gonna. Can I just leave? Can I just leave for a little while? Just let me go back home to my wife and see my kid. I just want to see my kid.
Okay. I'm assuming they're not gonna let this go by because he's trying to break him, so he can't just let him go as he's like nearing the breaking point. I don't know if you could just leave. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Is that an option? I don't know if that is an option. If you don't know that's an option, that means they could just keep pushing you. If you don't actually know that they can't keep you there doing that. But I assume they can just keep you forever, however long they want, up to a certain amount of time, right?
You're not going to tell us, are you? I just want to see my kid and my wife. I want to help, but I can't help if you don't help me. I'm going to reach my arm out to you. I'm going to reach my hand out to you. Take my hand. I'm here to help you. Look at my hand. It's shaking. It shakes when I'm nervous. But I'm putting my hand out to you. Please.
Now, we've had like little hints here and there. But did he... Is it not him? Was it the wife that did something? Because at the very beginning, she was talking about like not being like upset with immigrants or not blaming one action on the whole like culture or race or whatever. Is that where that was coming from? Because like as it stands now, it's like why would we even assume any of that? Like why would that's why I feel like it doesn't even need to be said because like of course not. Like a normal person's not gonna think that way, but I can only assume she said that because it wasn't him. It was his wife that did something. And then him saying he's worried about his wife and that the girls were daddy girls, right? On top of that, that maybe she did this on purpose, question mark? Like the mom did this on purpose for some reason. That's where this story's leaning now. Like I was saying, of course it's him, of course it's him, of course it's him. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually her.
Please. It was an accident. We didn't mean for this to happen. What happened?
Okay, we didn't mean for this to happen. Okay, but at this point, I feel like if the mom did do something, wouldn't her getting it deported actually help? Question mark. I feel like he would want her to be deported because then she doesn't have to worry about the laws. Question mark. Not that I'm saying they should do that, but you want justice. I'm just saying, couldn't you like curve penalty by just getting deported, and then they find out, oh wait, hold on, a crime was committed here, but it's too late now because now they're deported in a different country. We can't try to affect them with our laws. I don't know, because they're not a citizen, right?
Did she fall? No. Something get spilled on her? No. Somebody fall on her? No. Was she playing and she got hurt? No. Just tell us so we can at least go get her. I mean, I'm still gonna go to jail. But what did you do wrong? Why would you?
Okay, so he just keeps admitting more and more and more and more and more. He is just breaking.
Go to jail. Because I hit a dead body. The police are searching for Ashley in the woods and near.
Okay, so he hid a dead body. He didn't say he killed her. So again, the mom killed her and the dad hit her. So they're both going to be in trouble, like he said.
The restaurant. They unlock the front door to Eng's Cuisine. This is not their first search of this entire restaurant, but now they know for sure that they're looking in the right direction. They start combing through the entire place again, but this time with a lot more patience. They go through the kitchen, the walk-in freezer, the messy storage room, the tiny closet with the mattress in there. And why is there a ladder propped up against the wall, leaned above where the walk-in freezer is?
There just happened to be a box for a 65-inch flat screen 4K television and what appears to be a Razer scooter, a box as well above that. Like here, Razer scooter box, I guess for the children. This is next to the freezer. Is this like slight trash? Like, why do we have these boxes here?
So on top of the giant commercial walk-in freezer, there's a crawl space. And they shine the light. Look, the tiles are not even. Get the ladder. We gotta go up.
Yeah, I mean, how did y'all miss this? It's like literally pushed in.
There.
So the lie detector test was when was that taken? The next day?
The next day. So they've been searching. They called at 9 p.m. They've been searching all night into the day, and the lie detector test is taken.
And then after that, this is when the police
Yes.
is going back to the restaurant.
I mean, I do think that the police were suspicious of the couple from the get-go, but they're honing in now. They're no longer focusing on the woods. They're inside the restaurant.
Oh, ad break? Is that what we're about to get?
Taking your business to the.
Okay, so we have a ad break here. Surprised to see that one. I mean, this is 4 days ago. I mean, it's not like it's going to change, right? Sometimes they have ad breaks, sometimes they don't. You never know when they're going to have one. But this one, of course, is for Shopify. Never really used Shopify before. I honestly don't even know what it exactly is. I mean, if I actually listened to these Shopify ads, maybe I would actually know what they are, but I just never pay attention to any of these things.
Start and run and grow a business. Shopify has your back with gorgeous, ready-to-go templates.
But yeah.
AI tools built specifically for commerce.
Who did it at this point? Again, of course, I thought it was the dad the entire time, but with all the little hints that have been dropped, I think maybe it was a mom. I don't know if it was malicious or not, of her doing this. It just seems like it might be. So, of course, he's going to get in trouble still, but if she did it, of course, she would probably have to be more in trouble.
This episode is sponsored by
Oh.
Acorns.
We have a double ad read today, not just a singular one, a double ad read. Oof. Yeah, again, why would she do this? It doesn't seem like anything crazy is going on. Also, if I'm looking down, I'm not actually looking down. My eyes are closed as I'm talking. Because I have automatic blink turned on. It doesn't blink when I blink. It's automatic. It's not manual. So if it just randomly just stares down for a long time, like this, it's because my eyes are closed. 'Cause head is a bit hurting. Is a bit hurting. Why did I say it like that? Is hurting a bit since I was streaming for 5 hours today, and now I'm recording this video with the lamp in my eyes and all that nonsense. But anyways, the like, why would she do this? We don't have enough evidence as to why she would, though. Why she would do it maliciously? So was it just an accident? If it was an accident, why would we have to have that little disclaimer at the beginning of this video? If it was an accident, why would we need that? For the people who don't know how to not be like that.
First officer
Like, not be, I don't know, just racist, I guess we'll say.
calmly pulls down the first tile, places it on the ground. He shines his light into this tiny little crawl space, and it is storage. There's photo albums.
Okay, yep. Looks like storage, suitcases, more boxes. Can't tell what this is. Some sort of box, but I don't know what that is on the box. Like, what that is, or what this on the front is, no clue. I mean, not that any of this stuff matters, right?
Wedding photos of Ming Ming and Liang. He starts taking some of them down, and in the back, he sees like these few plastic bags that smell. He grabs them, and he opens them as gently and as quickly as possible, and inside he sees skin. Dried fish skin and dried chicken. He shines his flashlight deeper into the crawl space, and now he's like, there's really nothing left up here. I'm so
That's kind of weird. Like, we have a bag full of actual food, but it wasn't the body.
confused. He sees in the very back, shoved deep into the crevice of the crawl space, is a bussing container. Like, you know those gray plastic containers that in restaurants they use to take the dishes off the tables? Those little plastic tubs.
Yes, like when you, yeah. So this is all above the ceiling, you're saying?
It's like a tiny little like a mini attic, but it's not
I was gonna say, like, it's like an attic. I don't
even
know.
really an attic. So the ceiling is flat. It's one ceiling, but because the freezer is not tall enough, there's a crawl space above it.
Oh,
For some duct,
I see.
like a little bit of space, maybe like a cabinet.
So they connect the
Yes.
freezer to the ceiling, and that's a little.
Yes. So they're going through that, and he just sees that bucket left. So he starts slowly pulling it towards him. It just looks like more storage. He pulls it closer and closer, and he hears like a shaking noise. It's salt. It's like
Okay, to try to make sure. Try to stop her from spoiling, I'm guessing, is how we're gonna describe that. That's the only way I could, like, think of describing that.
filled with salt and just placed up here. Kind of weird, but I mean, maybe it's not the most hygienic restaurant. They brush away some of the salt, and inside is a black plastic bag. And inside of that, in a fetal position, is Ashley. All the major news networks in Ohio are reporting breaking news. We have confirmed here at the scene that 5-year-old Ashley's body has been found inside of her parents' restaurant. So continuing with this timeline, people are just trying to add 2 and 2 together now. That means that for 8 to 9 hours, Ong's restaurant has been fully operating, serving customers, cooking, while the owner's deceased 5-year-old daughter was in the back. The forensic pathologist has to remove all the salt covering Ashley's body, all those little white specks. They conclude that the cause of death is blunt force trauma to the head and the torso.
Okay, so malicious. She was attacked. It probably wasn't an accident. Now, it's just, did the mom do it or did the dad do it? The dad seemed like he hid the body to protect the wife, but I'm guessing the wife did it.
A lot of the officers did not like the parents from the get-go. One even goes into detail in his report. Eyes were not bloodshot, no crying and mucus from the nasal cavity. They just think That's not how you act when your child is missing, unless you're not their parent. Mingming and Liang have been telling Ashley for months, I am your mom. This is your dad. That person is not your mom. Stop calling them your mom. I'm your mom. But it is not clicking with Ashley. Every time she sees Mingming and Liang get intense about all of this, she starts crying, she starts acting out. Mingming explains to the officers it's because Ashley was raised by Liang's parents, her paternal grandparents, ever since she was young. Ashley literally thinks that Liang's mom, her grandma, is her real mom. Mingming says, I need to talk to her, to explain to her, I'm your mom. Grandma is daddy's mommy. It's not your mommy. I'm your mommy. You are from me, from my belly, okay? It's so hard to talk to her when she's not even 4. Mingming and Liang are sitting in separate interrogation rooms now in the police station. Ashley's body.
Okay, so are they gonna throw each other on the bus? Is the mom gonna throw the dad on the bus? Is he gonna throw her into the bus? But I'm guessing now we have motive that the daughter just refused to accept her as her mom, and that just made her go violent one day. That's just something kids do. I mean, when I was a kid, I had a nephew who obviously was going to be way younger than me, so I kind of like an older kid compared to him. He would refer to me as his own name. Like his name, he would call me his name. He would refuse to refer to me as my actual name. I don't know what was wrong with him, but he always called me his own name, which doesn't make any sense. It's just sometimes they don't know. It takes them a while to understand.
Body has been found. At first, Mingming tries to, not very convincingly, but attempts to try and tell the investigators that maybe someone brought up the idea that perhaps Ashley was taken. She says, I don't know. The lady told me she thinks someone took her.
So this is next day. The body has been found. Both the parents are in the police station, and she hasn't been told that the body is found. I see.
In Mingming's interrogation room, there's a female and male interrogator, as well as a female Chinese translator that will come in and out. The detectives try to explain how he sat with Jojo alone to ask her questions, and he asks Mingming. And it's very interesting. Mingming has her hands placed on the table. They're folded. It's almost like she's in a work meeting. Do you know what I asked your oldest daughter?
That maybe makes sense. Might just be normal for her, I don't know.
I asked her, I said, where's your sister at? Do you know what she told me? Mommy and Daddy don't want me to tell you what happened.
No way. She's not going to say that because
Okay. Can I tell you something else? You want me to tell you?
Sure.
Okay.
What?
We found Ashley.
Okay.
Okay.
What is that?
She's deceased.
What?
Do you want me to tell you where we found her? You want to tell us what happened now?
I don't know.
I think you're a good, caring person that was overwhelmed by a lot of things because that's what you're telling us.
I'm not really like trying to read her body language. I'm just like reading the subtitles for whatever reason. Let's roll back and actually watch her this entire time.
Can I tell you something else?
She leans in.
You want me to tell you?
Sure.
Okay.
What?
She keeps leaning in to like try to understand.
We found Ashley.
Okay.
Okay. That's just she's like okay. Very weird response, but
What is that?
She's deceased.
but she is saying like where's. I don't know if like, it's confusing because like if she doesn't know she's dead, then that would be not necessarily a good response, but at least it's like okay, where is she? Where's my daughter? But it's not even like that. It's too non-emotional.
Deceased.
What?
I mean that what?
Do you want me to tell you where we found her? You want to tell us what happened now?
I don't know.
I think you're a good, caring person that was overwhelmed by a lot of things because that's what you're telling us. And I don't think And I think that you're a good mom. Life can be very overwhelming at times. I've got 4 kids, I know. I could tell.
Okay, he's trying to soften this blow to try to get her to admit to what happened.
I can tell you're struggling. And I just want to be able to sit here with you and try to figure out, what happened and hear it from you.
The female detective leans in. What happened at the restaurant? What are you talking about? We know something happened at the restaurant, so we're trying to figure out what led up to that. I don't know. I think accidents happen too, and I think that there could be something that happened that was an accident, and you didn't mean for it to happen, or your husband didn't mean for it to happen. Jojo...
I guess that they're just doing like the not really telling the truth completely, because at this point I feel like they would know, right, that it's blunt force to the skull and torso, which there's no way, like a singular blow, sure, but 2 blows in 2 different spots, like there's no way it wasn't some sort of violence.
Jojo didn't mean for it to happen, so we need to figure out some sort of accident happened so we can understand. I just know what Jojo told me. How do you think she's feeling right now? This is the male detective. I don't know.
You're a mom, a caring mom, and you got a little girl that needs you and looks up to you.
I'm not the caring mom.
She said, I'm not a caring mom?
Why do you say I'm the caring mom? Because I can tell you.
Yeah, I mean, he's just saying things to make her feel better about like admitting into it, but if you don't genuinely care, then it just comes off as weird. It's like, why are you saying that? When I myself know it's not true.
You take care of Jojo. Yeah, I take care of the kids all the time.
She has a brief moment with the translator where the translator has to explain to her that caring means loving.
就是说对孩子很好，照顾他们，照顾得很好 ，caring， 那就嘘寒问暖。
我没有说我对他们很好啊，我自己对他们很严啊。
啊，你没有说过对他们很好啊？
我说我对他们很严，我说我是个很严的妈。
Let's roll it back because they are just like going past these translations. I was just reading them, but I'll read them out.
Explain to her that caring means loving.
就是说
Caring means kind to the
对
kids,
孩子很好，照顾他们，
taking good care of them, caring, pamper, showing concern. I've never said I'm good to them. I am very strict to them.
啊，你没有说
Oh, you never said that. I said I am strict. I'm a strict mom. Her hands are finally off the table now, by the way. She finally has taken her hands off the table and put them in her lap. But you feed them and keep them warm.
你给孩子吃穿哈，对呀，照顾他们哈。
Taking care of them, that's caring.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Loving， 对，你爱你的孩子吧。
Do you love your children?
Yeah, you love your kids.
So it appears that maybe she doesn't know what the word caring means. Then they just skim over it.
Ashley, you're not even crying.
Yeah. He's just like completely calm, no emotions this entire time. Like the what was like that was something, but it's just she's just having a conversation with these people. A nonchalant conversation.
Why?
The guy's moving around a bit too much though, I feel like. That'd make people uncomfortable constantly shuffling around like that.
Because I can't. I don't have any wallets anymore.
Okay. I understand that. That's one thing you and I both understand. Okay. What happened to her?
The male detective on the side starts getting aggressive with Ming Ming. He leans.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. His body language is getting all over the place, and I would assume people would get uncomfortable from all this because he keeps scooching in, but there's only so far he can scooch. It's like he's trying to scooch when he can't scooch no more.
Forward, he's raising his voice. Your daughter is dead, Ming Ming. She's dead. She's dead. She wasn't on the couch. She wasn't on the bed. She's dead in your restaurant. And now we can sit here and play games all night, but I don't want to do this. I know that you love your daughters. You told us. Do you think that Jojo wants to go through this and lose her sister? Do you want to sit and play whatever and say, I don't know what happened? What happened to Ashley? How did she end up dead in your restaurant? Silence. Your daughter is dead. I just don't understand. You said you have nothing left. Isn't that what you told me? You don't have any tears left. You have nothing left. Mingming, your daughter is dead. I just don't understand that. I'm to the point where I'm crying for your daughter. I'm not expecting you to cry, but there's the death of a 5-year-old little girl. The energy in this tiny room feels like maybe it's a little bit much. Everybody steps out, leaves Mingming alone with her thoughts, and now just the male detective returns. He plops.
What? This be bad. He might goof it. He might goof this up.
Down across from Mingming. It looks like he's plopping down in front of his teenage kid who he just caught sneaking out. He looks disappointed. He looks disgruntled. He looks like he would rather be, I don't know, 50 other places. What are we going to talk about? Mingming shakes her head no. I'll listen. I don't have any more to say because I know that you're just going to tell me nothing happened. I just want to find out what happened to her. I can see it in your eyes that something happened.
I'm so tired.
How do you think I am? Don't you think I'm tired?
Yes.
I was at home with my family last night, okay? I didn't get no sleep. So I woke up yesterday, Monday morning, at 5:30 in the morning. I haven't been to bed since, okay? My job's to help people, but also give people closure, okay? Your husband called me because your daughter is missing. That's the report that I got, okay? I left my family because it's important to me to come to help you find your daughter.
They are facing off in the interrogation room. Usually the interrogators try to sit on the side. Sometimes you'll have one interrogator in front, but always someone to the side. This detective is closing in on her. He's sitting square in front of Mingming. He's got his arms reaching about halfway onto the table. It's a tiny little table. He's looking Mingming straight in the face. He's not letting her look away. She's resting her elbows on the very edge of the table, and she is also not leaning back from his gaze or his very intense body language. She's just staring right back. What happened to Ashley? How did she die?
Got this crescendo happening in the background.
I kill her.
Oh, just like that. Well, I mean, the crescendo stopped as soon as I paused, but...
Ashley, how did she die? I kill her. You killed her? Yeah. How did she die?
Yeah, kill her.
What happened? How did she die?
Just kill her, and then she died.
How did you kill her? Did you hit her? Did she trip? Did she fall?
I understand that, sir.
Okay. Did you hit her?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you hit her?
How?
Yeah. What
You
happened?
can to do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
How many times did you hit her?
I don't know.
I figured it would be some sort of weapon, but especially with how small her frame is, like she's very tiny. I guess we're talking about a child though, such an adult woman is still going to be able to do damage to a child. I guess she just, the way she, I mean, we don't know because language barrier, but it sounded like she just literally just pummels her to death. But like really beat her to badly enough to actually do damage to the skull and torso.
What happened after she would die?
After she will die,
Yeah. What
just
happened?
die.
Okay. What did you do with her after you died? What'd you time?
Nothing. Just leave her there.
Word. Okay.
She says, I told my husband to take care of it. I need to take care of everything from the restaurant.
I mean, did she say after that?
I only have 2 hands. I'm not 4 hands, girl. I'm 2 hands. I don't want to do that to Ashley, but you can't control yourself sometimes. Sometimes if you do it 1 time, that means you have to do it 2 times. If you do it 2 times, then you have to do it 3 times. I don't want to do that, but I can't control myself. Meanwhile, Liang, the dad, is in the next interrogation room over, explaining, my wife, she's not a bad person. I mean, I married her. I wouldn't marry her if she was physically abusive in the beginning because, see, my daughter, she's 6 years old, Jojo. Took care of both of us for 6 years. Not once did my wife physically abuse Jojo out of anger or anything like that. We spanked her if she did something wrong, but nothing like the bruises on her or like all over the place that you found on Ashley. My wife is a good person. I know it's very hard to believe seeing Ashley, but look at Jojo. Look at Jojo. Mingming is a good person. She's a good mother. She just has problems.
Why didn't you ever report the abuse to law enforcement?
I was worried, scared that God's gonna take my wife away.
Well, how bad? I mean, what kind of abuse are we talking?
It's not like initially so bad. If it was initially so
Like I said, we're saying that was just abuse even before this killing.
bad, I would probably report it, but just, it worked.
Escalated?
Yeah, and then at that point I was like, she got so much bruises on her, I can't call it in anymore.
Well, would she twist her arm? Would she kick her? Would she hit her? What happened?
Pretty much all of it, twist her arm, kick her, hit her.
But never touch JoJo?
No, not once.
He explains that Ashley was raised by his parents for the first 4 years of their lives.
The mom was like really upset about that, and that she took that frustration out on the child themselves.
Life. And since Ashley got back, maybe not even a year ago, it's been rough. He says that his parents call nonstop. They send relatives over to tell Mingming that she's a horrible mother. He says, my mom started telling my wife that she's doing it wrong, that she's raising Ashley wrong. That kind of got to my wife because it's, your own daughter, and then your mother-in-law's telling you that you're not doing it right. You're not supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's one thing, and then you got to look after your own daughter. She's 4. She's not potty trained. She doesn't know her last name. She doesn't know if she's a boy or a girl, and the list goes on and on with all these things. And she finally knows that she's a girl because we taught her that, and we taught her last name. But initially, when we got her back from my parents, she didn't know. And combined with the fact that my mom kept telling my wife that she's doing it wrong and seeing how Ashley was actually raised, the combination of the two just made my wife really angry. And the more my wife saw Ashley being that way, not being able to be potty trained and just getting angry. It's always when Ashley does something that Mingming gets triggered by.
She still doesn't know to potty in the bathroom. So that really gets my wife going because we have her for a year now. She still can't. She's still not potty trained.
So that was one of the things that really irritated your wife?
Yes.
He tries to argue that every time Ashley would not be potty trained, it's a reminder for Mingming about her mother-in-law criticizing her.
What?
Yeah. As for what happened yesterday, Liang tells the full picture, whereas Mingming doesn't. Liang says that he went to go drop off JoJo from school.
Yeah, of course. Mingming might even not be able to articulate what happened in English. So, you can't really hold that against her. She just doesn't know how to explain what happens. I don't know why they didn't have the translator in there when he came in there, but I guess he just really wanted to just break her and make her say what happened, but not having the translator kind of makes it kind of rough to figure out what happened.
He comes home and he recognizes that Ashley had defecated in her diaper. So she pooped in her diaper because she's not potty trained. And which, by the way, I've got a very firm stance. If your child is not potty trained, that's on the responsibility of the parent. It's not the child. The child does not potty train themselves. She pooped in her diaper. And then I think she was so uncomfortable with the poop in her diaper because obviously it's not a great sensation. She took off her diaper, which led to some of the poop falling onto the floor. Liang walks in. Mingming is smashing Ashley's head into the carpet.
In the restaurant or at home?
At home.
If my model could do that, you could have seen my eyes just like what? When he said that, what? She was smashing her head into the ground. Like I was saying, how did we just fracture the skull? I'm guessing that's how it was. So the carpet, I guess it's still just slamming a child's head against the ground. It's just no.
So, you're 5 years old, you still don't know how to poop and potty. And my wife got angry and hit her head on the carpet, 2 times. And initially she was breathing. She was still breathing then. And
did you see your wife do it?
Yeah.
She stops. They let her be. She's making these snoring sounds. And he says this isn't the first time that her head has been smashed into the carpet, so he didn't think anything of it. He thought it would just be fine, that she was hyperventilating, Which that snoring sound, we talked about that in like the previous episode.
I mean, if you get knocked out, you snore. Like, if you get knocked out really badly, you will snore. So that's what I initially thought. Is like, she knocked her out so badly, she started snoring. But, I mean, she died from this, so clearly it was worse.
But that's not, you're not sleeping. Like, he thought that she's sleeping or she's hyperventilating. So about a good 5 minutes pass and all this vomit starts coming out of Ashley. She starts having green fluid come out of her nostrils. They take her, rinse her off in the bath. They still, I guess, don't think anything of it. They bring her back to the living room and she's still breathing. And then a few minutes later, he goes to check up on her on the living room floor and she is no longer breathing. He starts freaking out, and that's when they decide they need an alibi. So they're going to dress her in her clothes, put her in the baby seat, take her from their apartment door to the car, buckle her into the car seat, drive their deceased child to the restaurant, unbuckle her. That's when the roofer saw her. She was already deceased by this point. They're going to keep her in the back of the restaurant while they open up for business as usual. And then he's going to go pick up Jojo. Jojo's going to see her sleeping in the mattress on the back so that she doesn't have to lie, so that she can tell the truth and they look more credible as a family. And then after Jojo leaves for a second to get a tooth pulled out in the front, Liang moves Ashley's body on top of the crawl space. It's sick and twisted that they're using their eldest daughter as an alibi. But he also says, you know, I didn't know it was going to be this serious. He just thought that he was going to call 911 and they were going to say, okay, your daughter is missing. He said, I didn't know the procedure. We didn't think that I was going to be coming down here taking a polygraph. I was going to be asked so many questions, that it was going to be involving so many people. If we knew that there was going to be 100 people searching, maybe even more, I don't even know. I'm just sorry.
You guys actually cooked and served meals while your daughter was laying there.
Yes.
And went on business as usual.
Yes. Both of us were afraid what was going to happen. If we did, we were afraid that we're going to lose our daughter, we're going to lose our family, the restaurant, the house that we're getting, everything in our life that, you know, that we worked so hard for the past 6 years. This was going to be gone.
See, he is so acting like he's so nice, right? He's saying, I didn't know, my wife is nice, I'm just cleaning up, I'm scared, this and that. He doesn't even care the daughter died.
Yeah, later he keeps calling Ashley it. Did you and your wife both agree on putting her there in that
Did he say, has he been saying it yet? 'Cause he was speaking about Ashley. I noticed this. He was speaking about her like she was still alive, though. He wasn't using past tense, which, I mean, maybe that's being nitpicky. But he wasn't using past tense terminology when he's speaking about her. He was speaking as if, you know, she's still around. Like, what did he say? Like not being potty trained, stuff like that. She still doesn't know how to do this, instead of she still didn't know how. I guess that maybe that's good enough. But he just wasn't using past tense when speaking about her. So that's kind of like a complete flip on that. Because again, he was speaking as if she was still around, but now he's just going to start speaking as she's an object, a thing.
container? I mean, we talked about places and I said this is probably the best place to do it. You know, it's well ventilated with the salt in it and we're not going to be worried about the temperature because it's cooler up there. Now, side note, there are speculations by netizens, and as someone who knows a lot of people close to me that are autistic, there are speculations that perhaps Ashley was on the spectrum.
Sure.
At one point in the interrogation with Liang, the dad, he shows the police how Ashley was standing, which seems to irk him to the point where it sounds like he's almost justifying their abuse to Ashley in some regard. He says, this is how she would stand. I don't know where you get that. I don't know how she did that, but my mother never corrected her, and this is not how a person stands. So he stands up in the interrogation room. He takes off his hoodie for this demonstration. He stands on his tippy toes, and his arms are bent, and a lot of people with autism call them like T-Rex arms, and they could be indicators for younger children where maybe diagnosing is a little bit harder. This seems to be something that some doctors who specialize in the diagnosis look for, and that her hand.
I didn't know anything about that, but I guess now I do.
Hands would be kind of bent at the elbows and then bent at the wrist with her hands kind of flapping forward. And then sometimes she would put all of her weight on just one foot. And then the other one would just be tippy-toeing. And again, tippy-toes is another sign that a lot of parents with autistic children look out for.
And she would just do that. Pretty much, we correct her, she would do it, correct her and do it, she would do it. A lot of things. There's a lot of things that we felt that my mom had her for 4 years that she should correct these things. So, every single time when Ashley do something like that, it would trigger my wife because my wife would be reminded of what my mom said.
And he says that's the reason that Ashley was getting abused, whereas JoJo wasn't. Because when they got Ashley back from his parents, they said there were so many, quote, problems that Ashley could not feed herself. She was still in diapers. She didn't know how to use the restroom by herself. She was not potty trained. She didn't even know how to go into the refrigerator to get something. One family friend said, I've seen Ashley, if she was thirsty or wanted something, she would walk to the refrigerator, point. They would have to walk to the refrigerator, open it, and then she would point to what she wanted. She was still in a high chair because she didn't know how to use eating utensils, hold a cup. And again, I just don't know why any of the adults, even this family friend, is talking about it as if it's something wrong with Ashley. I don't think anything's wrong with Ashley. And if someone is upset by, I guess, maybe her development, it's up to the parents to work on that. I think it's crazy that they're talking about her like she's weird, like something's wrong with her, when nothing is wrong with her. They would say things like, so Ashley was almost like an infant in a 5-year-old's body. And again, they're almost placing the blame on Ashley when it's on the parents.
How old do you have to be still be an infant? Apparently, infant is only a year. In some cases, 2. I just considered like anybody in like I guess the first half of 10 years to be an infant. So like 5 might have even been still an infant. Maybe that's a bit much. 4, like 1, 2, 3 is up there. Maybe 4. I didn't realize it was just singularly 1. Is how when infancy stops.
Liang says we would have to feed her like even a regular piece of sliced bread. It would take her over half an hour to eat. My mom had her on a liquid or semi-liquid diet. She has problems processing solid foods. That's why it takes her so long to eat.
Because she's adding emotion to this description of what he's saying, but when he was describing the stance that she took, it didn't seem as malicious as how it is here when she's like talking with this like, this is such a bother that she's like this voice that she's using. It kind of just seems like he was explaining, this is what she did and this is what made my wife mad. So I don't know if he's necessarily explaining it in a way that is like, God, there's so many things wrong with Ashley, but I'm not completely getting that vibe. But sure, I have no problem throwing him under the bus if we want to do that. I'm just saying, if we're playing devil's advocate for a second, because I do like to do that. Not that I've used that term before, but I do like to play devil's advocate a lot. He kind of just sounds like he's just explaining how his wife treated Ashley in a almost clinical way.
Clearly, they have no intention of getting her help, though, because he says, we didn't take her to the doctor. We were afraid because the doctor would see, that she's bruised all over the body. Interestingly enough, a lot of people don't even know that they have 2 daughters. A lot of them only know JoJo. And there are speculations that because maybe Ashley was not what they perceived as neurotypical, they didn't want people to know that she was their daughter.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gross because in Liang's interrogation, he continues to state that, yeah, okay, fine, Ming Ming's going to jail, I'm going to jail, but guess what? I don't want JoJo to be raised by my family. I want her to go into foster care. He said if JoJo is raised by his family, they're going to turn out the way Ashley did. He says JoJo's going to turn out the way Ashley did. He says, I just don't want my family to raise my kids. I'm just afraid they're going to turn out like Ashley and then my wife is going to hate her. And even as he's being taken to prison, he says, I just don't want my mom to have contact with my oldest daughter, JoJo. Okay? Not that she's a bad person. It's just what happened with Ashley. I'm really afraid she's going to raise JoJo the same way.
So technically, the only reason that how his mom raised her was a problem is because of his wife. if the wife wasn't a part of the situation, then Ashley wouldn't be dead, right? Because it's not necessarily an issue. It's only an issue because of the wife. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine for them to raise them.
In prison,
It's not their fault.
in jail, the couple have turned on each other.
Oh, so we've just saying they're both in prison. I mean, he's an accomplice to murder, so he has to go to prison. But of course, they're gonna turn on each other. I wasn't expecting that, but I guess I did mention it. Like, is he gonna turn on her? Is she gonna turn on him? But I guess apparently in jail, they both turned on each other.
Ming Ming's attorneys have accused Liang of harming both Ming Ming and their 2 daughters. Those allegations did not come back up in court, but Ming Ming confided in a psychiatrist in prison that Liang was the one responsible for Ashley's death. She claims that she was instructed by him to tell the investigators that she was the sole person responsible for Ashley's death. Some netizens actually can agree with this theory because the way that she's confessing in the interrogation, it's vague and it's like, I killed her, let's get it over with. I did it, get me.
Oh, you're saying she did all
Sure.
she said was she killed her with hand.
Yes.
And she didn't give any more details.
Yes.
Every detail is from him.
Yes. And then some netizens are digging deeper psychologically and saying perhaps even her flippant attitude. So a lot of people, when they first see the interrogation, it's like, wow, this lady is crazy. And she is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But some people think, what if she thinks she's doing something for her eldest daughter? Like she's taking one for the family.
Yeah, I think she's clearly crazy, but I think the husband's more scary.
Yes.
I think
Terrifying.
the whole way he carried himself.
Like, my wife is such a good person, but also she murdered our daughter in cold blood.
Yeah. He's in his mind, the story he tells is, oh, I love my wife and I'm protecting her.
Yeah.
But truly, if you think more, he's like, clearly messed up.
So the argument by the people that believe, and again, nobody is feeling sympathy for Ming Ming, but they're saying that maybe Liang is the one that killed the daughter and perhaps Ming Ming took the fall because Ming Ming is not in the US legally. So she doesn't have her papers. And so maybe she thought, either way, if he goes to prison, I'm going to get deported and then Jojo's going to have nobody.
So what exactly did she say? She said he killed the daughter.
Yes, and that he has been abusive to not just her, but also the daughters.
What does that get her if she's lying, though? What does she gain from that? To get out faster? Her sentence changed? Question mark?
And he threatened her, if you don't take the fall, you're going to get deported and Jojo's going to go into foster care and I'm going to go to prison. And then she says that she originally took the hit for it until she realized that he requested Jojo to be sent off to foster care regardless. And the netizens who believe this theory, no sympathy for Ming Ming, but they have scoured through the Ong's Chinese Cuisine restaurant Facebook page. There are just back-to-back posts of Liang running that page and saying, sorry, we're closed today because my wife is sick. My wife is sick. So people are commenting, very odd that this place was closed so many times due to his wife being ill. They thought maybe he was being abusive. Now, October 12th, 2017, initially Ming Ming pleads not guilty to murder by reason of insanity. She ends up taking a plea deal. She pleads guilty to involuntary manslaughter and other charges. And under that plea deal, she has been sentenced to just 22 years in prison.
I mean, that's still a long time. I was expecting it to not be. Well, specifically, if she was going for insanity, I wouldn't have expected to be 22 in prison. It would have been like X amount of years in an asylum, question mark. Mental institution. We're just using the word asylum for ease, right? We don't use the word asylum anymore. We don't have asylums anymore. They're called mental institutions. But yeah, I would assume it would just been a few years in an asylum, or maybe a lot of years in an asylum. But there's actually 22 in jail.
The judge says, the horror of being beaten by her own mother. I use the word mother with great pain when talking to you. It's insulting for mothers who do what they're supposed to do for their children. 100 years would not be enough. So why 22 then? It's likely because she is going to be deported back to China right after her sentence.
But will she be given more years in China for that or not? Also, can you imprison someone who isn't a citizen?
In 2040.
I guess so.
Meanwhile, Liang is serving a 12-year sentence for his
12 years for an accomplice.
part of the crime. He will be eligible for release in 2030, which netizens are very upset by, because during his own interrogation with the police, he says, let's say I went through with this and I didn't get caught. I'm going to be looking over my shoulder for I don't know how long, because a dead body is there that I eventually have to get rid of. And if you put it in the ocean, the tide can wash it back. If you bury it, animals can get at it. Someone can find it. If you burn it, there's a chance someone is going to see you, because it's going to be a very big fire. You're not going to do it during the day. You're going to do it during the night. So when you're burning a big flame at night, someone is going to see it. We thought about all of this. And honestly, we weren't really too sure what to do after that. One officer writes in his report, during the interview with Liang Jiao, he shows no remorse for Ashley. The only time he showed remorse for was when he found out that he would not be able to see his daughter Jojo.
I mean, they're both like messed up. So if I don't know if this is how it works, but if Ashley was autistic, it kind of feels like he is too, ? I don't know if that's just because he is so, again, calm, weirdly calm. Not this thing that has anything to do with autism, but just he's not speaking in a way that's like normal, ? I don't know how we want to say this. Since he's so weird, he's so calculated there, right? The statement she just said is so calculated, weirdly calculated, over-calculated, that it feels like it might be neurodivergent, ? Is that how you say that? I don't think I've ever had to say that before. So it could have just run in the family, that part. That's just like just thinking of like, why is he like this? But maybe he just doesn't care.
Even during his sentencing, he tells the judge, a year ago yesterday, I lost my daughter. And he says nothing of any substantial value or emotional substance. He continues and takes a weird turn. No one is going to remember my daughter. No one. The people in my family, I don't want to be rude, but none of you remember her. None. It's so strange. What? And it's just left netizens with like a really bad taste in their mouth. There are a lot of people from the community that are confused, writing, they look so nice. They seemed like good people. Others writing, I remember this case. I was a new mom and I couldn't even fathom someone being able to do something like that. We all prayed together in front of the restaurant and left flowers and stuffed animals. They actually demolished and rebuilt the strip mall not too long after it happened, but...
Why would they need to do that? I mean, the strip mall, she said the strip mall. Other businesses got wiped because of this, because of what they did. I mean, they also took a child out of the world, but I'm just saying on top of that, I don't understand why they had to wipe the strip mall.
We're never going to forget that poor baby girl. Another comment reads, if your child isn't potty trained at 5, that's completely on you. That is the responsibility of the parent, not the child. She was probably under constant stress that she had that little bladder control. Others are traumatized by their Asian parents actually using this case against them. One netizen writes,
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
My mother would have loved to use this case to tell me how good I had it. Weirdly, she always tells me to read child abuse books and tell me how good I have it. Others write, it sounds like poor baby Ashley was autistic and needed early intervention. This breaks my heart. I hope they get buried in jail. The fact that they used their other daughter and let her see her sister, quote, sleeping as an alibi makes me want to throw up. The reviews to the restaurant now just read, not child friendly.
That's a bit, you can argue that's a bit of dark humor, but sure.
And that is the case of Ashley Jiao. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Be safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Okay, so that was that episode. Again, this was like pretty new. There's nothing really else out of our new stuff to do, because again, I don't really care about doing any of the Diddy stuff, and like 10 plus of her newest videos are just related to him. As you can see here, like all 3 of these videos are about the Diddy case. But yeah, like I guess we don't really know if it was only the mom who did it or the guy. It could be either or, right? At this point, you can take out this. I'm not saying either or is real or not. Again, I thought it was him at the very beginning until we swerved to it be actually being the mom. But maybe they are right. It was the mom. It was dad telling her to take the hit. I don't know. I can't say for sure on that one. Of course, they're always going to be. Well, most of these are going to be pretty rough. I don't know what to do after this. Like I was saying, Burning Sun again is 1 hour and 57 minutes, so very long. I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do that. It's already 4 in the morning right now. I probably should be asleep so that I can wake up at a time to do stream today. It is 4 a.m. On the 4th. This video will be going up on the 4th. But yeah, don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll see what I end up doing on the 5th. Maybe it'll be the Burning Sun Part 3, but again, I feel like no one cared about the Part 2, so maybe I should hold off on doing Part 3 for now. Maybe I'll find something else. Maybe we'll do Stephanie Sue. Maybe we'll go back to Dark Asia, but again, I don't think anyone is too interested in any of that stuff either. Or we can do the new Lazy Masquerade video. That's also up for grabs as well. Or the craziest thing out of them all, since I have gone back to Rotten Mango, maybe tomorrow, we can finally do the Amazing Digital Circus, which I've been holding off for like a year at this point. I still haven't watched it. I know the new episode came out recently. Still haven't watched any of them. I didn't watch like the first episode a bit when I tried to react to this like 6 months or half a year ago, but I just couldn't do it. But now that I've been doing this for so long, I feel like I could maybe actually react to that show now. I'm just worried about copyright. But like people are literally still posting reactions. Like today, I'm seeing it pop up like reaction to the first episode, reaction to the new episode. So I mean, I'm banking on the fact that it is not going to get me in trouble. So I'm going to do it eventually. I just hope it doesn't cost me a second strike on my channel. But guys, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers, think about becoming a member, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we can watch them and subscribe, and if we have it on as well, and share to the members, EmmyStarr with you. Yeah guys, thanks for watching. Tune to the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. Another do. See you.